to another episode of Chicago's Intellectuals Podcast. And today we have none other than Miss Torian Knox. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, we affectionately call you Toe. The world doesn't know that. You know, the world got to call you Torian, but we call you Toe. But anyway, let's jump right into it. Can you share with us a little bit about your background, like where you grew up?
Okay, I grew up on the east side of Chicago, originally on like 84th and Luella, of course like 79th and Luella, and then majority of my childhood I grew up on 71st and Stony.
Okay. And what schools did you go to when you were growing up?
I went to St. Thaddeus. It's on 95th. I don't even remember what street that school was on. And then I went to Vanderpool, which also Kanye West went there. Okay. Yeah. And then after that, high school, I moved to the suburbs and I ended up going to Bremen, which is in Midlothian.
Wow. I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember the school on 95th Street. It was across Ashland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I remember.
it was. Yeah.
Okay. And so let me ask you this. What are your values? What are the values that you live by?
My values right now is peace, keeping my peace, keeping my privacy, and stacking my bread. That's what I do every day.
Man, that's so smart. That's so smart. Where did you get your mindset, though? Who were some of your early influences?
I mean, my big influences would have to be my Aunt Lane,
okay,
who raised me. That's who I grew up with, and my mother.
Yeah.
And you know, I come from a line of hustlers, so.
Yeah.
Even my dad, he wasn't in my life much as a child, but he had a hustler mentality. My mom hustled to this day. And even Lane, she you know, she blue collar, but she still know how to get her money too.
Yeah, I think she was white collar by the time she retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. How did you grow up on the east side of Chicago and avoid like getting into any mischief? Because I've known you all your life and I've never known you to be in any sort of trouble. You were not a problem child at all, as far as I know. As far as I know.
I was just talking about this with my cousin and my boyfriend in the car, like how I didn't get many whoopings. I wasn't a bad kid, but I don't know. I just think I feel like it was the people around me, like even my big brother, which is Lane's son. I call him my big brother because that's how we grew up. Julian, he just introduced me into comics and Marvel especially. So that turned me into a little nerd. So like all my focus was always like being a kid. And I feel like that's because of Lane and my mother working together to give me that childhood to just be a kid. And Lane introduced me to the world traveling, which is what I love and I do to this day. And I feel like a lot of that is what kept me out of trouble. Like I always had something to look forward to. I was always taken care of. I always had good people around me. And I feel like everybody, especially on my mama's side, even you, every time I run into you, you always got something positive to tell me. Always tell me, don't do this, do this. Like everybody in my life always steered me in the right direction. So I think that's why.
So you've always had pretty good grades. Am I right?
Always. Since preschool.
How does that work? Are you like innately a genius, or how you do that?
I don't know. And everybody always say this. Like even my mama was telling me stories a week ago. She was telling me a story, like even as a baby, like I would be sitting there with Teddy's mom and Teddy's grandma watching the news.
Wow. Wow.
Even my great grandfather, he would like nobody talk to me like a baby. Like nobody's like goo goo gaga or hey. Right. Like everybody talked to me like an adult. And I just feel like that is what stimulated my mind. And then just once I got in school, everything just clicked. Everything was pretty easy to me.
What What GPA did you graduate with coming out of high school?
Out of high school, ooh, I don't even know. It was a 4 point. It probably was a 4.0. I don't think it was. It was close to it though.
Okay.
It was close to it though, because I was in a lot of honors and advanced placement classes in high school.
Okay. So now it's time for you to go to college. Tell us about that process.
That process was difficult because I originally wanted to go to Arizona State University. I got into Arizona State University. I got into Hampton in Virginia. And what other school did I get into? I think it was Howard. And those were my choices. I really wanted to go to Arizona State because when I went to the All-Star game in Arizona and got to walk the campus, I just fell in love with it. But it cost a lot of money to go there. And we just couldn't figure out how we was gonna get the money to go. So I had applied for a scholarship, but it was only for in-state. I had to stay in-state. And I got it. It was a full ride. The only thing I had to cover was my boarding fee for staying on campus. And it was between the University of Illinois at Chicago or the University of Illinois at Champaign-Urbana. So I just decided to stay here.
So how was that experience?
I really liked UIC. It was a very different experience because I got to meet a lot of different people from like all over the world. A lot of my teachers were from all over the world. And there is where I got my degree in psychology. So a lot of my classes were like gender and women's studies, of course, and like, of course, psychology classes. And I just really feel like I learned a lot. I really like this UIC. I wish I would have known what career I wanted then and did it at UIC. But I mean, life happens.
Yeah. So when you were taking psychology, did you have to take statistics?
Yes, I did. And I passed with flying colors.
Did you use an operating system called SPSS?
Yes, I think we did that. And we used, well, it was like R or something like that.
Yes.
Yes.
I got to call you offline.
I had to find all that old stuff.
Goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Okay. So now it's time for you to graduate from undergrad. Tell us about that experience.
So, I mean, I graduated pretty cool. It was funny because, okay, let me say this. When I first went to UIC, I went to get a nurse's degree, right? But me and chemistry, was not getting along. I feel like I took that course and it was basic chemistry. What's crazy is basic chemistry, I don't know why it was so difficult for me, but organic chemistry I passed. Like I didn't have no problem with organic chemistry. It was just basic chemistry, just didn't get along. So the only thing that I didn't like at UIC too was the advisors, because it was just like I didn't pass the class one time and the advisor was like, well, maybe you should think about changing your major. And I'm like, well, dang, give me a chance.
Right. Give me some support. Advocate for me. Damn. Yeah.
But it was chemistry, and it was just also too, like, I just didn't feel like nursing was my calling. Okay. I feel like I was following other people's dreams, what other people was telling me, and it wasn't my calling. So I ended up switching to psychology because since a kid, I wanted to be a psychiatrist because everybody in my family crazy. So I wanted to be the one to help everybody.
You know your family gonna see this, right?
Good, they know. I don't say nothing out my mouth that I wouldn't tell somebody.
Right. That's funny.
But yeah, so once it was time to like actually take my core classes, I switched to psychology, and I was like, yeah, I want to be a psychiatrist. So
what do you do professionally today?
Today, I'm in IT. So once I graduated from UIC, I knew I had to go back to school. And I was just like, at that point, I feel like I had my college wisdom, like, and I had loans. I did have student loans I had took out for room and board, but it was cheap. It was pretty cheap. But I was just like, I don't really want to be in debt and have to go to school another 10 years to become a psychiatrist. I'm like, I got to do something else. And I was like, right after college, I couldn't really find a job that was in the field because I could only do like maybe basic counseling, if that. And I was like, I worked hard. Like I want
Right.
more. Like I had goals. I set goals. I had my before 30 goals and I had my before 40 goals. And I was just like, this is not gonna get me to my before 30 goals. So I need to switch paths. And I've always been good with computers. So I decided to go and get a degree in information technology. So now I am a systems integration development director.
A director.
Yes, I'm a director now with Valley of the Sun United Way, which is under the United Way umbrella.
What school did you go to for your IT degree?
I went to Arizona State. I ended up going to my dream school. Yep. Once it took me a year, it didn't even take me a year to realize, okay, psychology not working out for me. I need to switch it up. And I'm just like, well, I'm gonna go to ASU. That's where I wanted to go. They known for their innovation. They've known for their IT programs and their computer science programs. So I'm like, I'm going to pack my stuff up and I've left.
That was real slick the way you slipped that in there. Now you had the whole world thinking that you went to UIC and there was going to be no Arizona State, but you ended up doubling back and going to Arizona State, and now the rest is history.
The rest is history.
That's cool. I like that. What was your experience like at Arizona State?
It was a good experience. I feel like I had more fun, like a real college experience there than I did at UIC, because I actually was out there on my own. So I had to make friends. I went to a lot of college parties because ASU was known for their college parties. Went to a lot of college parties, met a lot of people, a lot of different people there as well. And it's just very different from Chicago. Like everybody is friendlier, it's slower pace. It's just different.
So in your specific discipline, did you guys operate as a cohort? Like the people that you came in with in IT, y'all basically took the same classes and y'all knew each other and went through that whole process together all the way to graduation?
Yes, I think the class I graduated with was the second class to the program, because the IT program was new. Their computer science program is been around, but their IT program specifically was new. So I think I was like the second class to graduate. But we had a group of friends. We were all in the same classes. We worked together. We helped each other. And I mean, when I tell you I was in class with some geniuses, one of the guys I was in class with is banned from Las Vegas, or banned from the state of Nevada for hacking into one of their systems. So I was in there with some geniuses.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Was it a competitive application process? In other words, did you have to compete to get into that program?
I believe so. I believe I definitely did have to compete to get in that program. I don't remember a lot of it because, again, my grades was always like, me getting into somewhere was never really the problem. It was just me deciding where I want to go.
Right. You weren't really worried about that.
Yeah.
So my question is, how many African-American students were in your cohort?
In my program alone, not many. Not many.
Give us the demographics. What do you think?
Maybe like 2%, 1% or 2%.
Wow.
And I think I was the only Black female, come to think of it, in my program.
You never thought about that before?
Huh?
You never thought about that before?
I never thought about that before until now.
That's significant though, right? Think about it. Coming from the south side of Chicago on the east side, and the environment that has so many negative influences, and you didn't get caught up in that, and look where you ended up. So that's significant. Where are you presently living? I'm
living in Arizona. I live in South Phoenix right now.
Oh wow. How long have you been in Phoenix?
I've been in Arizona because I haven't lived in Phoenix but for 3 years. I bought my house 3 years ago. Honestly, what's today? Tomorrow will be my 3-year anniversary on my house.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that.
But I've been in Arizona for, I think I moved there December of 2014. It's about 8-9 years now. It don't even feel like it.
Wow. Do you miss Chicago?
I miss my family and the food, but I don't miss Chicago.
That's fair. That's fair. So earlier you spoke of the fact that your Aunt Lane introduced you to travel.
Yes.
Where are some of the places that you've traveled to?
I've been traveling since I was 3 years old. The first place she took me was Mexico.
Okay.
I've been to Brazil. I've been to Costa Rica. I've been to Greece. I've been to, of course, Mexico, Canada, the simple stuff. I've been to Dominican Republic, Jamaica. Oh, where else have I been? I feel like that's it. And then tomorrow we get on a cruise and we're going to the Bahamas, Honduras, and then Mexico as well. Yeah.
You out here living. East side, stand up. Y'all see her? Here's your hope right here. Stand up. I love it, Toe. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. And I'll take this time to say, the reason that I wanted you on this podcast so bad is number one, is because personally, I'm just so proud of you. But number two, you know, your story can hopefully motivate and inspire some other young girls or young guys, right? In the city of Chicago who might not think that they could achieve at these heights, right? And so that's the importance of having people, you know, from our circle, from our culture, tell their stories, because you never know. Somebody might be able to relate to you. It might be some girl on the east side of Chicago who doesn't have any sense of direction right now. She might see this podcast and be like, wow, she did that. Right? So that's how that works. So IT systems integration as a profession, what exactly does that entail?
I pretty much manage the systems that talk in between. So we have, of course, different data. So I manage the systems that bring data from one side to the next side. I manage that middle side. I make sure that the systems are working properly. I create new jobs and new systems for new data we get or new applications we get. I have to make all those talk. I also make sure that the data is correct. I have to make sure the data is correct, going from one system to the next. So I do a lot of quality assurance. I work a little bit. I'm learning now with APIs because that's a big part of it now. You know. But I'm studying APIs. I'm actually going to take some courses to learn API because the position I just got into this position. Maybe I've been in here for not even a year yet. It hasn't even been a year. I started as a SQL developer because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a database administrator. But my job felt that because I knew a lot of the systems so well, I would be better working in integration. So they created a position for me and moved me over there. So that's what I'm doing.
So that came with an increase in salary, right?
Of course.
Now, I ain't trying to count your paper or nothing, but just for the sake of young people in Chicago and around the world, you do okay?
I do very well. Okay. I do very well.
I ain't trying to count your paper or nothing, you know. So listen, you're also working on some outside projects. Yes. You're an aspiring entrepreneur. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So I've been into cars for a while. Okay. And my boyfriend, who I'm currently with, he's into cars. Right now he does professional driving. So we deciding to start our own limousine company in Arizona. It's called 6 Star. And we'll pretty much be doing like professional driving, chauffeuring and everything. He's met a lot of celebrities. He used to, so when celebrities come to Arizona, he drives them around, take them where they need to go. He drives Mercedes Sprinter vans, Range Rovers, Mercedes.
Any Teslas?
No Teslas.
No Teslas? Not yet.
Yeah.
Not
so
yet.
we want to, because he currently works for somebody, so we want to start our own business doing it. So maybe in our fleet we'll get some Teslas, but they're expensive though.
Yeah,
they're
they
expensive.
are.
But we're probably gonna start off with some Suburbans, which is why we just started the business. So we're trying to figure out, you know, what we want to get. We're looking at maybe some Suburbans, maybe a couple, start small and then work our way up. Of course, get Sprinters and everything. But that's what we doing. We're trying to be business owners.
So are y'all planning on hiring other drivers as well?
Yes, we definitely are. I think for the moment, though, while we're starting and still building clientele, it's just going to be him driving and me if need to be. But I'm going to be like the back office person. I'll be like the voice. He'll be the face.
Gotcha. That's cool. That's like Coretta and Martin. Okay,
yes.
Cool. So, who would be on your Mount Rushmore of IT professionals? Because I know you've had to study people during your journey to becoming an IT professional yourself?
Honestly, I don't really have any. Like, I've kind of been my own. Like, don't get me wrong. Of course, I want Bill Gates money. Of course, I want Jeff Bezos money, but it's kind of been me what I want. I don't really know a lot of people who actually wanted to, or honestly, I don't know a lot of people who are like famous like DBAs or anything, which I'm pretty sure they are, but I don't have anybody specifically in IT that I look up to. My cousin, she actually worked for Cisco Systems. And she kind of like was my mentor in college. Like if I had questions, I could call her. She would tell me like, don't put yourself in a box when dealing with IT. Learn a little bit of everything, and still pick which path you want to go, but don't limit yourself. Learn a little bit of everything, so no matter where you go, you'll be useful.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Pivoting a little bit. The pandemic happened.
Yes.
What was that process like? What was that time like for you? Because you were away from home in another state. I don't think you don't have any other family out in Arizona, right?
My cousin Trail is out there.
Oh, Trail, that's right. Yeah. So how was that time for you guys?
It was, for me, I've turned into a homebody. So it wasn't too bad, but it was difficult because I did lose my grandmother during that time to COVID, and she was like literally like one of my favorite people in my family, like just always positive, always sweet. Every time talking to her, it was just always good times and always funny. Like she always has stories for me that be having me dying laughing. But I did lose her, so that was a difficult time. And then also just worried about my family here in Chicago, because I feel like I'm like the one always worried, like, you okay? Like, what's going on? Like, make sure you take care of yourself. Like, my motherly nature is to everybody. So just not being able to see my family as much or not knowing that they were okay was a little difficult. But on the plus side, my job when I started was hybrid. So we had to work like maybe 3 or 4 days in office, and then we can work 2 days at home. But with COVID, we got to work completely remote at home, and it stays like that now, even to this day. I think I only have to go in the office like 2 or 3 times out the month for meetings. So that's the plus side, because I like working from home a lot.
Let me ask you, rest in peace to Donna.
Yes.
Right. Also, rest in peace to Teddy.
Yes.
I remember when you were like in high school, and Teddy would call you to the table and he would be quizzing you about these math problems, right? And he would call me on the phone, and I guess when you turned your head, he would whisper, "Man, I think this girl is a genius," right? Because I don't understand none of this, right? What was that relationship like for you? How was that for you?
me and Teddy, once I was in high school, me and Teddy had a wonderful relationship. Me and him, he would call me, even from Arizona when I moved to Arizona. He'd call, we'd talk on the phone for like hours about like aliens and the government, like all types of like these conspiracy theories. And it was just fun because I liked that. I liked that interaction. But yes, anytime I can, once I learned math, because I struggled. That's another thing a lot of people don't know. In 7th and 8th grade, I really struggled with math, especially algebra. I don't know why, but I felt like it was the teacher. I just didn't get it. I didn't get what he was teaching. So right before high school, I took a summer course. It was like a month summer course to teach for they were teaching algebra. Once I got in that class, I took off. Like algebra was nothing. And from there, I was in AP math, AP trig, like math, it just came natural after that. So I just felt like it was probably the person teaching me at the time in 7th and 8th grade. But once I hit high school, it was like that. So Teddy would give me these math problems. How I do this, how I do this, how I do this. And I'll walk him through it. He still wouldn't understand once I got the answer. He still wouldn't know how I got the answer, but he'd be like, that's nice.
And then he would be patient. He would go step by step. Then he'll call me on the phone. Like, I don't understand nothing about what she's doing. You know, I thought that was a great, great relationship, but I just wanted to hear it from you.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, I miss Teddy.
I do too.
Let me ask you this question. What do you read?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't read much. A lot of my reading is news. Like, I like to know what's going on around me. So I have like news break on my phone. And I just pick it up and read pretty much what's going on. That's what a lot of my reading come from. My boyfriend reads a lot, and he's getting into a lot of reading. He had me read, and I think I have the book on my phone. I'm gonna tell you. I need to finish it though. Let me find it. I have my
and news reading is reading as well, so that does count.
That's what people tell me. He has me reading. It's called The Burden of Proof.
The Burden of Proof, yeah.
Yeah. So he had me reading that. I gotta finish it. I think I got a couple pages. And then it's another book called Postmortem. So that's his type. He's like into crime and into like that type of stuff. So he got me reading that, which is a good read because I promise you, I've never been a reader. I'm not. I've never been a reader. I could just skim through stuff and get it. And then go about my business. So I'm not a big reader, but news definitely is what I've been into, especially with a lot of the stuff that's going on in the world. I need to know what's going on. So I read.
So you know the premise to Burden of Proof, right? And this might be why he has you read it. Because I guess the Burden of Proof basically surmises that one should always have evidence to back up their claims. Yeah. In totality, that's what the book is going to probably be about. Right? But anyway, what type of music does Toe listen to? Yeah.
Again, like my boyfriend been influencing me a lot. He's Caribbean. He's from Jamaica. So I do listen to a lot of Jamaican rap. I listen to UK rap. But of course, every now and then I got to go back, listen to R&B. 90s. I'm a 90s baby, so anything 90s I'm gonna listen to.
That Jodeci.
Yes, of course. I listen to everything. If it got a good beat, I'll listen to it. Because if you look at my favorites playlist, you'd be like, "Girl, where you hear this song?"
Right.
So it depends on my mood.
Right.
But I think right now I'm in a chill mood, so I'm listening to like R&B, some new R&B, some old R&B. What song have I been listening to a lot lately? I don't know. I listen to a lot of music. It's random. It's very.
Do you
random.
watch Chicago's Intellectuals podcast at all?
You've been sending them to me, and I've been trying to watch them when I have time. So I think I watched one the one I liked, I think that I sent you. I forgot
Which
the
one was
guy's.
it? Season 1, episode 1, was it Sierra?
No, it was a guy. Because
okay.
I watched both of his things that you sent. Aaron.
Aaron Mallory.
Yeah, that's what I was watching. Yeah.
He's serious.
Yeah.
Dude is serious. Yeah, he ain't no joke. I appreciate that, Toe. Catch up on some of our episodes when you get a chance. I know you're very busy. So you spoke earlier about some of your goals. You had the 30-year-old goals, and then you had goals that you want to meet by the time you were 40, right? So what were some of the goals that you wanted to meet by the time you were 30?
My 30 goals was to, of course, graduate from college. Also be in my career, like be at where I'm gonna take off on my career, in a position where I'm gonna take off on my career. Have my house and be making 80K or more. And those were my goals.
How old are you now?
I'll be 32 on Tuesday.
How many of those goals have you met?
All of them.
Congratulations. Congratulations. And happy birthday, because you're going to be on a cruise.
Yes.
So happy birthday. So what are some of the goals that you plan to meet by the time you are 40?
I want to have 100K in my bank account. I want to be completely financially free, so no debt, have some residual income, and of course to have my business at a place where it's like, you know, I'm well known, or known at least to where I'm getting consistent business. So those are my goals there. And a little side goal is to buy another house.
Okay. Okay, I like it. I think we need to increase that dollar amount a little bit. We should be at about 300K.
300, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, I love that. I love that. Hey, look, Toe, I'm so proud of you. So many people are so proud of you. We love you so much. Like, you have not presented us with any issues, as far as I know. Yeah, and we just love you so much, man. You're a person that, you know, the world deserves to see, and the world should be proud of, right?
Thank you.
So, for the final segment of our podcast, you probably know that we have our story to tell, right?
Yes.
And it's called Bring Some Weed. I got a story to tell. And I don't even smoke. I don't think you smoke either. I've never.
No, I do not.
Right. So in this section of the podcast, I like to afford our guests the opportunity to tell a story of their choice, no matter what it is, right? So now is the time that you get to tell a story of your choice.
Okay. I've been thinking about this, and I don't know. I couldn't think of nothing, but since I like to travel, I'll tell about my most recent trip. I was in Jamaica in July. So I went for the 4th of July. I went because my boyfriend just lost his grandmother, and we went for her funeral, but I got to meet all his family, which I love so much. His family is awesome. They remind me of my family. a little crazy, but a lot of fun. Crazy, but a lot of fun. But my experience that I want to talk about is with the police in Jamaica. Because I feel like being from Chicago and the police here kind of prepped me for the police in Jamaica. But I feel like anybody else wouldn't have did well. So we rented a car because my boyfriend is from Jamaica. He want to drive all over the island, which I love because I got to see parts people don't see because people stay on the resort. People don't go off the resort. We was in the trenches in Jamaica. Like we was in Kingston. We was in Spanish Town because he's from Spanish Town. So we was everywhere. But the police out there are very different. One experience I had was the police pulled us over to ask us for money. Yes. every police that stopped us asked us for money. But this particular police officer was like, yeah, like I've been out here in the hot sun all day. I'm just begging y'all for a little.
What? What?
You in the hot sun by choice. Nobody telling you out here to harass people.
Right. That's crazy. I've never heard nothing like that before.
Yes, but this one particular experience with the police. We were on our way to the airport. We had just seen his mom for the last time. And we're on our way to the airport. We passed some police. They already had a van pulled over. So they were dealing with the van. We ride past, and we not in nothing nice, but it's considered nice to them. We was in a Honda. And I guess it's considered nice to them. I don't know. So we get past them maybe like a block or two. They on their bikes. And I just see lights in the, and I'm like, what the police pulling us over for? What you doing? Because I'm in my phone. I'm like, what you do? He's like, I ain't did nothing. So we pull over, one bike cop on my side, gunpoint. Get out the car. Get out the car. The other bike cop on his side, opening the door, making him get out the car. We get out the car at gunpoint. They like, put your hands up, or whatever. I'm like, I wasn't scared. I was nervous, but even though having a gun face like in my face, I wasn't necessarily scared. I was just like nervous because I'm like, okay, what we do? Y'all got guns on us. We've been stopped, but nobody had guns on us. So we get out the car or whatever. They hear me talking in my American accent because I'm like, I'm not from here. We going to the airport. Like, why we being stopped? They told us that they apparently stepped out to the street to wave us to stop. And we kept going. And then I guess my boyfriend passed the car. And since he passed this car, we were trying to get away from him. We were trying to run away from the police. They checked our duffel bag. I had a little like Carolina Herrera duffel bag. They went all through my duffel bag and everything. They was like, we just got to make sure y'all not running away from, y'all not runaways. Y'all not trying to get away from the police and all this stuff. And they was like, what we gonna do with y'all? Kept asking my boyfriend, what we gonna do with us? It was like, we ain't did nothing. What you mean? They wanted some money too.
Wow. Wow. That is one of the craziest stories I have ever heard on this platform.
Yes.
God. Wow. This is going to be a pretty good episode.
Yeah, they end up letting us go, and we didn't get them no money because we told them, like, we at the end of our vacation. We don't have money to give y'all. But I've been told that the police out there, from just harassing and extorting people, take about 32K home. Well, 32K, I guess, Jamaican dollars. It don't sound like a lot, but it's enough for where it's like, there's people are out there already poor, and for y'all to be sitting up there pulling them over and taking money from them is crazy.
Yeah, that's an issue. That's an issue.
It is.
Yeah. Thank you for that story, Toe. Hey, look, I really appreciate you taking out the time to come and kick it with us today. Cold-blooded, man. Just your whole story is really, really significant, you know, and I'm probably biased because I've known you your whole life, but you did the work and you deserve everything that you have, right? And everything that's coming to you. Any final words?
Everybody, I mean, stick to what I do. Keep the life private, keep your peace, and get your money. And of course, travel, see the world.
Yeah.
See the world.
On that note, this concludes another episode of Chicago's Elections Podcast. For Torian Knox, I am the Kid Rod Allen. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Peace.